Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 4 of the Gray Area Podcast. I am back in lovely Dallas. I took a little vacation to California. While this little macaroon here stayed in Teja. How was it, man? What'd you do?
Well, you were gone and just worked a little bit. Not a whole lot besides that.
All right.
Just kept up with the fam bam and.
I really did nothing but eat and watch movies.
Nice.
That's really it.
Nice.
I didn't have a whole lot planned. I just kind of went out there sporadically. But it was fun. I watched some good movies and ate some good food. God, there was this fucking horrible place that I ate at. They had something called Chihuahua cheese. I got nachos. It was horrendous. I didn't eat for like 2 days because of it.
Awesome.
Anyways, whatever. Football season is almost back. I know that excites you a little bit. Maybe sexually or whatever.
A little bit.
So, what are you excited about? What's going on? I know a whole lot less than you do about sports.
Football. I'm excited about football.
Anything in particular, or just that football's going to be back?
Well, but the Eagles. Love them Philadelphia Eagles, man. No, I just want them to do well this year. Finally.
Well, getting rid of Chip Kelly was probably a good thing. That guy was a fucking cancer.
Absolutely.
What's this craziness about? There's somebody trying to get paid as 2 players or some bullshit like that?
Yes. Le'Veon Bell. That guy, he's running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think he had some stats that said, like, he was statistically, like, their second wide receiver as well.
Behind AB or what?
Yeah. And so, essentially, he's saying that he's filling the roles of 2 players, therefore he wants to get paid like he is 2 players, which is
Wait, hang on a second.
Yeah.
2 players means you can have both those motherfuckers on the field at the same time.
Right.
You can't be a running back and a wide receiver at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can be a running back that catches, or you can be a wide receiver that runs the ball, but you can't be like, all right, dude, I'm going to throw to you, but I'm going to run. I expect you to block and what. I mean, it's
like taking plays off. Like you can't be both on the same play. Like he could slot out wide or in the backfield, but that would be 2 separate plays. Like he couldn't be both at the same time. So wanting to be paid like both.
What's the likelihood he's getting paid as both, or he's going to?
Oh, I don't think so at all. I think he's already getting paid just like as a running back, but they won't give him a long term. Because here's the thing, like they won't pay him long term because he gets injured. He's missed seasons. He's already missed lots of games. He's been suspended for like weed and a bunch of different stuff. He missed time when they played the Patriots in the playoffs. Like you're not going to get paid as like
playoffs.
Talking about playoffs, but you can't just expect to be paid like the best if you're not even on the field all the time.
Whenever anyone says practice or playoffs, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Practice. You're talking about practice? Okay, you don't know what I'm talking about.
We don't.
All right, anyways.
The other hilarious, kind of not hilarious stuff going on in the NFL is the Cowboys stuff. I mean, first of all, we hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, we live in Dallas and hate the Cowboys. I think we're the only people that live in Dallas and actually despise the Cowboys.
Probably. But
even before, hey, look, I'm not a Philadelphia fan, but I went to a Cowboys game and nearly got killed. I got jumped by, how many people was there?
Oh, man. At least, like, ready to go, at least, like, 50 people. 50 Cowboys fans that weren't even in the stadium. They were, like, on the outside pre-gaming or tailgating, but it was after the game, so they should have just
I think they can't afford tickets. I think that's what it comes down to.
That's absolutely what it is, and they're just freaking taking space up outside.
See, me, that's the only football game I've been to, so I'm not talking like, oh, I'm so rich, I can go sit,
right. This is
over here.
Only NFL game or any kind of really football
I've
game.
never been to any, high school games. I've never been to a college game or anything, but I'm thinking like, why are you just out there harassing people when you can't even afford to go in?
Just nuts.
I got punched in the face and like a bunch of people were running at me. Thankfully, I had people there with me, and then they had like the crossing guard cops, those fucking worthless pieces of shit that do nothing because I was basically getting jumped, and they were just doing this kind of shit. For anyone listening, I'm motioning basically like a plane's coming.
Speaking of planes, no, I'm just kidding. That's for later.
Dude, that was ridiculous. The Cowboys fucking suck. And I'm so glad. No, I'm not glad that anyone's in trouble. But catch me up on what's going on with the Cowboys. Is it Ezekiel Elliott?
It is. Okay, so he's like had more like already. This is his second season in the NFL, and it's the off season before the second season. So he's basically like a rookie plus half of an off season, and he's already had multiple like legal issues, like serious ones too. They're not like really.
Was there something
minor.
about a girl or drinking?
I think both times. And then some kind of like robbery or fight, something. Not robbery, but like a bar fight. And then the Cowboys, of course, because he's good, they just brush it off like nothing because he's good. And of course, they're not going to cut him. Of course, they're not. If the NFL's not going to force him to suspend him or something like that, I don't think they're going to. But on the flip side, you look at like Lucky Whitehead, who was positively ID'd by witnesses for stealing
Wait, who does he play
clothes.
for?
Both play for the Cowboys.
Really? Whitehead played for the Cowboys? Shows you how much I know. Who gives a fuck? Anyways.
Dude, he's like probably not the guy you're thinking of. So this is like his second or third season. He's not done really anything any of his seasons. So he's like a wide receiver, small, undersized, like tons end arounds bullshit. Not really an impact player at all. So positively ID'd, which is incorrect. But so essentially, as soon as they hear this from the media, they cut him right away. They cut him, and then it comes back
Positively ID'd for what though?
for shoplifting or stealing clothes, something stupid. And then it comes back later like, oh yeah, police have the wrong guy. It had nothing to do with Whitehead. Like he wasn't even in the area. And all the Cowboys thought he was lying basically, so they cut him. And then it comes back as that, and they're still like, yeah, we stand by our decision here. And then he's like, basically, fuck the Cowboys. They didn't stand by him, and they just cut him after not even believing him. So the Jets end up signing him, but I think that's hilarious. Like you see it, somebody who's confirmed like issues with the law, but he's an absolute stud. And
Dude, I met Ezekiel Elliott. He's not that cool of a guy, to be honest.
Dude, I've been in the store where he has, and everyone says that everyone that interacts with him, they're like, oh, he's a douche.
Yeah,
Dude,
I was at the club with him, and he was just pushing people away. People were like, oh, what's up, man? Trying to shake their hands, you know. At the same place, there's been a Dan Bilzerian, Crabtree.
Yeah, other football players and stuff.
A bunch of people, and everyone's cool. Who was the brother that I told you? Pettis?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Pettis
Anthony
was there.
and Sergio Pettis.
Yeah, I think it was Sergio that was there. And everyone was going up, shaking his hand, saying what's up, and he was being super cool. Ezekiel Elliott had like his little,
Power trip or something?
no, like his people there, but not let him say what's up. And then someone was like trying to take a selfie, and he thought he was like in the selfie or whatever, and he goes up and says, delete that. What? You fucking suck. I mean, he's good, but he sucks.
Yeah. But anyways, like it's crazy, the comparison, but because immediately the Cowboys organization bought into the media, right?
That just shows you how much leeway you have if you're a star.
Right.
And I mean, if you're actually good and people give a fuck, then...
Unless you're named Michael Vick. If it has to do with animals, he did years in freaking prison, and I guarantee you there's people that have probably done way worse things and are like just not even get suspended. But anyways, so there you go. Ezekiel Elliott, he's a star, so nothing happens to him after confirmed legal issues, and then after a mishap with some ID, Lucky Whitehead gets cut. They don't even try defending him, and he has to move on to another team because he's not a stud, because he's not like a star that's impacting the game. I just think that's crazy.
Speaking of stars that are impacting the game, I think the one we were talking about this not that long ago is Odell Beckham wants to be played as the highest performing player, or what's
something like that? Yeah,
he wants to be paid as the greatest, right?
Right. That's what I've understood. Yeah.
Dude, this is my thing. He's not the best player on that side of the ball. He's not the best player on the field at any given time. He's not the best player. Maybe on his team he's the best player because New York sucks. But he's not even the best wide receiver.
In the league, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's like, I would name at least 3 or 4 before him.
Antonio Brown for sure.
Julio Jones
for sure. Maybe he's the third best.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe he's the third best.
I mean, what's that guy? AJ Green. I mean, on his like, when he's on his game, I think he was more impactful than Odell. I mean, okay.
Plus, you got to talk about consistency. You can't talk about these fucking haphazard catches. I mean, those are great,
Dude,
and that's skill, but I'm talking about consistency.
Yeah. Well, he like fastest to a certain amount of touchdowns, like rookie records. Like, I mean, he is consistent in as far as getting the ball. Like, the only time I don't think he really made an impact was when he kept trying to fight the freaking ex-Carolina, Josh Norman, the cornerback. Like
I saw that. Josh
fighting,
Norman kind of shut him down. Yeah, I saw highlights of
that's,
that.
I think that's like the only time. I mean, yeah, he is consistent. He's great. Like, he's a fantastic. He's absolutely elite, and he's only like in his third or fourth season. But like, I don't know. I just think if you, I mean, but see, the thing is, we're even on the wrong side of this. Like, we're comparing him to wide receivers. He's saying everybody. Like, if you think about Rob Gronkowski or Tom Brady, or you think about J.J. Watt just like a season and a half ago, like, you can't just say, oh, yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. should be paid more than all of those guys. Like, because A, they're not winning the games that the Patriots are or even the Cowboys are, and B, I don't even think he's the best at his position, you know? So I think
that's
those
what I
are
was
the
saying. I
things,
said
yeah.
it just even at his position.
Right. And I know, I'm saying we're not even taking it to the max level that it could be taken.
I mean, is it true that quarterbacks probably make the most money per position?
Yeah, I think so, but they should. You know, it's right. It's right.
Well, they're in
cases.
pretty much 100% of the time.
Right.
When they're playing that side of the ball.
If the fact is, and this is confirmed, if you have shitty quarterback play, look at the Houston Texans. That's what everyone thinks over the offseason. Like, if they get a star quarterback, if they get a solid starter, they're going to make the playoffs for sure. Like that was the easy bankable offseason storyline. And then, but really, I mean, we don't know because they took a mediocre to fairly terrible Brock Osweiler
and paid a fuckload of money for
yeah,
him.
Yeah.
How much? $60 million?
Oh my
Is that
gosh,
what it was?
something 72, I think it was, something crazy.
Jeez.
Fuck this.
There's so much money in sports. It's insane.
Yeah.
Insane. But I'm excited for it to come back. Last year was a great year for football. It was a great season for football.
Yeah.
Being in Dallas, it was an incredibly annoying season for football.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a couple teams that really surprised everybody. Falcons obviously were one.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan had an outstanding season. Up until the last game even, he played very well. The Raiders had a very good season.
I think what was cool about it was that it's like kind of the beginning storyline for so many teams. Like I think for one, like of course I'm an Eagles
for Dallas,
fan.
for the Raiders, Dallas, for Philly.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I mean, Derek Carr is already good, right? Everyone knew that he was already good coming into last season, but now
He's
we're
insane.
now we're like, oh wow, Derek Carr is like among the elite, you know. So that's pretty cool. And I think what's interesting too is I think we're starting to see certain people fade out, like Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. Hopefully Eli Manning, or actually hopefully not because he throws a lot of interceptions. But
dude, sad to say, but I think Tom Brady's on his last 3 seasons.
Oh, easy. Last 3. I mean, I think
he said he was going to play till he's 40,
which I think he very well could. But if I had to guess the way I think it'll end up, I think he'll play 2 more solid seasons. He'll start like a 3rd, maybe a 4th, and then through there he'll just kind of do like an Alex Rodriguez, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna put you in the lineup. You're hitting number 4, but you're freaking not hitting any home runs. Your average is terrible. And then he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna peace out now. Like halfway through the season, if I had to guess, it might be that. If he starts to,
he's
degrade,
playing now just for the love of the game,
which is
he's got
awesome.
He's got all the money he needs. He's got a smoking hot wife. He's got kids that he likes. He could do so much other stuff. I'm sure he could
like your kids.
I'm sure he could commentate games. I'm sure he.
I don't even think he cares about that. Like I don't think he'd even care about commentating.
I'm just saying he could have a career besides that. You know what I mean? It's not like this wishy-washy thing where some people retire a million times. No names mentioned. But I mean, he's still consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Winning the Super Bowl. How old is he? 36.
Gosh, 36, 37, something like that. Yeah, but I agree. I think
crazy. He's playing for the love of the game at this point. His body has got to hurt at 36 years old playing
he says he feels great, and I believe him. Like if you look at like people analyze like what his season looks like or what his days look like no wonder he's the greatest. But I still think he'll play a couple solid seasons and then be done, which I'll be happy for him. Like I don't think you should keep getting tackled and freaking demolished by these 20, 22-year-olds, 24-year-olds.
Cam
when
Newton.
You're like 40-some-odd years old. Yeah.
Speaking of being tackled like crazy, Cam fucking Newton.
Oh, man. Enough with this fucking football crap. I'm just kidding. I love football, but
we got kind of on
we got some stuff
there
to talk about.
Well, I was in California. I watched quite a bit of movies, and then last night was my first real night back, and we ended up watching Dunkirk also.
No.
But before Dunkirk, I want to talk about Baby Driver. There's some mild spoilers in here, so if you haven't seen it yet, go and skip about 3 to 5 minutes up. But
Nothing major, though. We'll just talk about the movie in general.
I'm a big John Hamm fan, John Bernthal. Kevin Spacey's okay, but just honestly, I saw that because I just got done watching Mad Men. We talked about that in one of the earlier podcasts.
Yeah.
Big John Hamm fan. And the movie, really, from the posters and the marketing of it, interests me about 0%. I wasn't interested at all.
Right.
I was like, maybe when it comes out, if it ever catches Netflix or fucking Hulu or whatever, I'll go and see it. But
Yeah.
I started seeing all these posts on Facebook and Instagram and everything saying Baby Driver was so good.
Right.
And I decided to go see it. I thought it was extremely fun. I thought it was a different take on like a movie like that. What did you think? I had you watch it last night so we could kind of talk about it. We haven't digested it at all, but what did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Like, I think that he said going into it, he's like, just FYI, some people are saying it's like a musical, but he didn't see it that way. He just thought like it was heavily influenced by types of music that Baby was listening to.
When I think of a musical, I think of, let's get some strawberries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fucking
Which I hate.
Oliver Twist and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. To me, it was more along the lines of Guardians of the Galaxy, where they like have this really prominent and awesome soundtrack,
Right.
And then some of the
of like music, like band type music, not like score, right?
Yeah. Not like Hans Zimmer. I'm talking about like,
right.
they take AC/DC, Back in Black, and they make this really badass scene, and the scene is packed into the song. On the chorus, it gets into like the big part of the movie, the exciting part of the scene, whatever.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about badass soundtrack. I'm not talking about like Oliver Twist and I don't know.
I thought the story
Fiddler
was
on the
interesting. There was like enough like kind of like mystery in a sense to just kind of follow the ride and then just not feel like you're dying to like know the background of stuff. Like sometimes you just want to go see like a fun movie that's a pleasant surprise, and I felt that's what it was. Because like there was like hints of like you don't know why he owes him money, you don't know why he's actually driving for this. He's kind of like just a kind-hearted guy who's good at driving cars, and then
Kevin Spacey played Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
I feel like he was the same character over and over again.
Yeah. What? The phones are up top here. That was our lovely niece. She's the best.
I thought overall it was like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was a fun movie. Yeah, it was a solid 8. The only part, and I'm not going to spoil anything, of course. There's like a kind of twist with John Hamm's character, kind of, and like they kind of shift the story to more focus on him towards the end, which I thought was weird. But just it felt kind of out of place. Like it was like I was tracking with it.
I liked it. I like John Hamm.
Oh, he's great. I'm just saying I don't want to talk about spoilers, but
anyways, watch the movie. Baby Driver, solid 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5, whatever we want to do.
Sure.
I thought it was really fun. I thought it was worth the money. If you like going to the theater, go and see that one. Yeah. There's a couple really cool car scenes. I'm not spoiling anything. It's in the fucking trailer. Watch the trailer. Don't bitch at me. Another movie that I saw that you haven't yet is Spider-Man. I'm going to talk about this for about 30 seconds.
Sure.
Spider-Man has been done, redone, and overdone. They had the Tobey Maguire, what was it, Andrew Garfield, and now this young kid. What's his name? I don't even know his name.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
He's an English kid.
I thought it was interesting. People said it was a really good movie. Very entertaining. I thought it was mediocre at best. I'd give it maybe a 6 out of 10. The plot was okay. It didn't seem like Spider-Man to me. He wasn't interested at all in Mary Jane, really. It was just a very, very weird. I feel like it could have been. Have you seen that show Gotham?
Yes.
Okay, it's like the Gotham version or the Spider-Man version of Gotham to me. How it's just like in the same world,
using the same names, but it feels
like,
totally different.
Is this really that character?
Yeah, I get that.
And then you have Iron Man in it too, and it's almost seems forced. You're like, it was all right. It was okay. I don't regret seeing the movie. I'm glad I saw it, but would I watch it again? Absolutely not. But the other one that we watched that had a lot of hype coming into it.
Oh man!
So name a couple of the actors. I mean, there's Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy. Who else is in it?
That fucking One Direction guy.
Harry Styles,
Kenneth Branagh, and then DRC. What is his first name? Something. But he was in an old movie called Master and Commander that we liked. But it was like freaking all the English actors that you can think about.
If basically when someone closes their eyes and goes, I want to make a badass movie, and I want English actors, and I want Irish actors, and I want the dopest score and the dopest director, that has never made a flop.
It's that one.
It's that movie. You got Christopher
Just
Nolan.
on paper, though.
You got Hans Zimmer. You got Tom Hardy. You got Cillian Murphy, and a bunch of these other badass English and Irish actors.
Yeah.
So on paper, this is the dopest movie of all time.
Right.
Mixed with people on that personal friends saying, best war movie ever, best movie of the year, possible best movie ever. And it was a huge, colossal fucking letdown.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
I don't know. Okay. 2 things that this might hinge on. The fact that we're American and not English, so maybe the power or the effect of it being an English story might not be there. But typically it doesn't affect me, you know? And then secondly, I didn't do research about Dunkirk until this morning after seeing it. I don't know if that would affect me going into the movie now if I was to see it a second time, which I'm absolutely not going to see a second time.
I'm never going to do research on it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Dude, that movie, man, it was an hour and 40-some minutes, I think. Of
At the 30-minute mark, I'm like,
man,
is it over?
That's what I was thinking. I was hoping. Like, Christopher Nolan,
Let's break this down really quick.
Sure.
We're both huge Tom Hardy fans.
Huge Christopher Nolan fans.
Let's see.
Every Nolan movie.
Tom Hardy, legend. Phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, his portrayal of Bane, I thought was...
Love it.
Very entertaining.
You think darkness is your ally. Anyways.
Lawless. I love his portrayal in Lawless with Shia LaBeouf.
Dude, Tom Hardy is fantastic.
Peaky Blinders. He was in that with Cillian Murphy.
Yep.
Cillian Murphy's portrayal of who was it, Scarecrow?
Yep.
I mean, just everything those guys touch.
Basically,
I'm a fan of.
The recipe, they used all the right ingredients. The recipe was perfect. The cinematography was stunning. I loved the color. I liked how bleak it was. Like, shot-wise, it was bleak. Even in the beach, it wasn't, like, poweringly bright. And then the music was incredibly tense. But there was nothing. There was no substance.
It was just staring.
It was staring.
The whole fucking
tiny
movie
bits
was
of
staring.
dialogue, lots of water, and pseudo-drowning. They would hop from ship to ship. Ship blows up. Switch to Tom Hardy in the sky. Yeah, okay, this is spoiler alert, but we're not even spoiling plot because there was none. Like, I love Christopher Nolan. My favorite movie of all time, bar none, is The Dark Knight Rises. I think it's a perfect movie. Along with every other movie, basically, we've seen, I think, all but his very first one, and I've tried to watch that first one. It's just a little bit bland for me.
What is it?
I don't even know what it's called, but it's about like this. It's his very, very first, like, feature film. But, like, there's all the way from Memento to the Dark Knight trilogy to the Prestige. Inception. All of that. Not Inception. Wait, is that Christopher Nolan?
Pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. Interstellar is too, huh?
Is it?
Yeah. So, like, all of these movies are fantastic. Like we were saying, his name's on it. It's going to make a lot of money. It's got our favorite English and Irish actors. And it was just so boring. Like, I wanted to like it. I wanted to be invested. Like, there's a scene that shows Kenneth Branagh after, like, kind of some hope is being shown. He, like, tears up, which is fantastic. And, that's the only part that actually hit me. The rest of the movie, I think, and we've done tons of research, but I think it's between, like, 3 perspectives. The timelines kind of jump over each other. There's not really, like, it's not like flashbacky. It just kind of cuts to the next
30
sequence.
minutes a movie from 3 different perspectives.
That's what it seems like.
At the beginning,
yeah.
You're like, is this a flashback or is this happening at the
confusing.
same time?
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was very well
there
done.
Was just, there was no substance. I don't know. They were kind of drowning. And I was reading up on Dunkirk, and there was some stuff that Nolan obviously didn't have in the screenplay.
Yeah, what was one
cool.
part of it? You said that there was one ship that ferried almost 7,000.
Something like that. And then it ended up shooting a couple of German planes down. Like, I'm thinking, man, that's freaking Hollywood right there. And
that's like free. That's like they wrote the script for you.
Yeah, it's like,
that's fucking history.
Let's throw this paragraph into the script, and yeah, it's badass. And then there's like, we're not going to include it. Like, there was nothing. They would kind of drown, get out of the ship.
What was Cillian Murphy's name in the show?
Shivering Soldier.
Shivering Soldier.
We were like watching
it's going to be
credits.
a fucking awesome movie.
We were watching the credits, and Cillian Murphy's like, it's like Cillian Murphy, Shivering Soldier. We're like, he was the worst character. Okay, won't see that spoiler, but you'll see. You'll be like, what the hell? This is ridiculous.
Worst character ever.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I wanted to like it. And if Christopher Nolan was sitting next to me, I wouldn't even hate on it. I would just ask him questions because
Why?
I just don't get the purpose of shooting that with like $200 million or whatever, $160 million it was. Like, man, that's just really tough for me to justify a story like that. Because I remember when the very first clip is cool and shows just jumps you right into the action, which is the only action of the movie, really.
What do they say? You got like 2 minutes to pique someone's interest, and it did. I was like, okay, I'm wrapped. This is cool. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then once like the 15, 20, 30-minute mark hit, you're like, holy shit. I literally looked over and my sister was on her phone like texting when normally she's a big moviegoer.
Oh, man. This one was tough. I must say this one was tough for me to stick through. Like there were certain little glimpses of where you would be like, wow, this could really work. But most of the film just did not. Because it's like, to me, it felt like I was watching a History Channel show, like a little special where you feel like, oh yeah, like there's going to be a lot of like exposition and it's just going to show like these planes flying, shooting at each other in this like air dogfight or whatever. But it was that literally over and over again. And then there'd be tiny little glimpses where there would be some kind of action. But then it would just fall so flat. Oh my gosh. I was so frustrated with that movie walking out. I remember I didn't want to just be like, F that movie or that movie was shit or whatever, because I didn't want to just say, I don't like pooping on people's creative and artistic creations, you know. I love that kind of stuff. The fact like there's critics and Rotten Tomatoes has a gigantic impact on what a movie makes, I think is fucking ridiculous. Because it's like,
especially when they're paid by the fucking
like I don't Rotten Tomatoes is owned by like Fox or CNN or CNBC, something like that. Like they're owned by like basically a studio. Let's look that up real quick. But it is just so frustrating to me that people are literally just lauding this thing as going to be one of the greatest war films in general.
It's owned by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers.
That is hilarious.
30%, and the other is NBC and Comcast.
Oh my gosh. So basically, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Wasn't it the fucking beginning of the movie? It said Warner Brothers. Wasn't it produced by Warner Brothers?
Dude, I don't know. You'd have to look that up.
Holy shit. Hang on a second.
That's hilarious. But he's looking this up. You could look at who produced it. I just don't get it. I want to know the reasons why people love it. Like I don't know. Like I would love a counter argument to this. But what we were saying is that if a movie's just going to have a bunch of these faces that you don't really recognize as characters, but you recognize it as actors.
Warner Brothers.
Oh my gosh.
No wonder it has a fucking 93 in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying insane. Is like that's crazy that's even a thing. But what we were talking about last night is like, if you're not going to be character driven, you got to be action driven. If you don't have action and you're not going to be action driven, you got to be like plot driven or have like this crazy plot.
There was no lines.
There was no dialogue.
I want to see the script for that movie, like just the dialogue.
Yeah,
it would probably fit on 5 or 6 pages.
That's what I was going to say. It'd be like 5 or 6 pages. But dude, I just don't get it. I would
typically
love
it's a page a minute a page.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That's crazy.
Anyways, we're gonna stop this rant. I heard part of Tyga's new album. I think I don't remember the name of the album. Let me look it up.
What a transition. The music was good though. Like we said, Hans Zimmer, it was cool.
Yeah, it was
cool. There was like literally like a ticking clock in it, like, but it wasn't distracting. Like it all worked really well. There was just no substance to the movie, in my opinion. I don't know.
Tyga's new album, Bitch, I'm the Shit Too.
What a name. How did he come up with that one?
Bitch, I'm the Shit Too came out recently.
Only on an album like that. Like, what if it was U2? It's like, hello guys, this is Bono. Check out our new album. Bitch, I'm the Shit Too.
Well, that means they had a Bitch, I'm the Shit one. The one track that I heard that I really, really liked was Move to LA. The real reason I really liked it probably because was Ty Dolla $ign was on that.
Yeah. I'm thinking Ty Dolla's on every hit nowadays, right? It's either him or The Weeknd.
He's like the new Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
He, like back in the day,
like
Dr.
I know
Dre.
Anything about that.
Dr. Dre would, you hear tons of songs with Nate Dogg.
I know.
With
I know.
50,
I know.
with Dr. Dre, with Snoop, with tons of people. Anytime you wanted a catchy hook, hit up the boy Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg.
I think he's the new Nate Dogg, man.
Sure.
Anything he touches becomes a hit. I mean, he had that song with like Charlie XIXXCXXXIXX, whatever her fucking name is. Whatever, drop that kitty, drop that poot nanny, whatever it was. I loved his verse on that. The other parts of the song I want to skip through. Charlie XIXXCXXIXX.
Dude, oh man.
But I thought that was dope. Go listen to his album. Let me know what you think. If you guys are listening to anything else that's really cool, hit your boys up. Something else that was incredibly entertaining was Mayweather and
McGregor press conferences.
Yeah. But then they're seen getting off the same private jet. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw the
What
photos.
the fuck is that?
Dude, because I guarantee they're like going into this, they're like, okay, we want to make lots of money. Floyd's like, I owe tons of money to the IRS. And Connor's like, fuck the IRS. I want to make tons of money. And then he's like, they're going to devise this way to make hundreds of millions of dollars. They're like, okay, you're going to say this. You're going to make fun of me this way. I'm going to come back with this.
Yeah, but
boom.
Dude, they look so convincing. Like when he told his boys like Voltron up or whatever he said.
Whatever the fuck he
said.
said.
What the fuck was that? First of all,
super gay.
Floyd, if you're out there, that is the dumbest tagline I've ever heard.
Yeah, Floyd, if you're listening to this podcast,
no, but for real. And then McGregor says something about like, "Fuck 50 Cent. Hey, what's up, New York?" And then 50 tweets at him like, "Yo, this white boy crazy."
Yeah. I mean,
that's all hype, dude.
Yeah.
That's pure hype. They're doing it right.
Yep.
If you have 50 Cent tweeting out about it,
does this mic work? Then fuck this mic.
But you know what I mean?
He's my hero.
50 Cent's
at the
already
same
cool
time,
with Floyd. And then for him to tweet out about the fight, obviously he's going to do that, right? But
right. I mean,
he's
you
tweeting
think
to McGregor.
It is absolutely the biggest. It's going to be the biggest combat sports event in history. And it's just crazy. You think about Connor's thing, like you're saying like Connor is arguably, no, not even arguably, he's more well liked across the board than Floyd is 100%. Because people are paying for Floyd's pay-per-views to watch him get beat up, which he never in fact does. Which he's
people
the
liked
best
him when he was
counterboxer,
pretty boy
defensive.
Floyd or whatever they called him.
Right.
What was his
and
name?
Then Pretty Boy Floyd, and then now he's like Money Mayweather, whatever.
Now when he's Money Mayweather, people fucking hate him. I remember a plumber. We had a plumber in our house like 3, 4, 5 years ago. And I never really talked to someone who absolutely hated Floyd. I'm not a boxing fan. We watch UFC.
We were indifferent to him. I still am. I really don't care.
Yeah. I think he's entertaining to watch, but yeah. What was it like when he was? Oh God,
dude, that's like the thing is what makes Connor so much better at this. I think not even
a better
controversially,
hype man.
Way better. Like because he's got he just has better. I don't even know how to explain it. He just got a better presence, but also
charisma,
vocabulary too. Like what he actually is saying, like the substance of his dialogue, of course, which is ridiculous because most of the time it just
you got a children's school bag, take off those high heels, you're juiced up,
wearing like the pinstripe suit with "fuck you" on it. Like that's hilarious.
Now he's got a clothing line. What a genius!
Like that's what I'm saying.
He's gonna make more money on that long term. Nah, that's not true. That's not true.
I don't know about that, but. Gosh, dude, there's no way he's going to win. I was arguing with somebody, not even arguing, we were just chatting about the fight. And as much as I would like to see him knock him out, like, there is
You're just saying he and he. Are you talking about Conor knocking Floyd Mayweather out?
Right. There's no way Conor's going to knock Floyd out. There's no way. I mean, I think it...
Sorry about that, guys. We were just making the predictions for the Conor-Floyd fight. We've said it many times.
Yep.
I think that Conor does have a chance to knock him out, but what some people were saying is he needs to basically fight a little dirty. He needs to fight in the clinch. It's going to be interesting because he's got heavier gloves, all that shit, whatever. We are not boxing professionals. If you want to go listen to someone that is, go listen to Joe Rogan. He knows Conor. He's met Floyd. Go listen to what he has to say. I'm basically just regurgitating that information. But
basically,
next week, go ahead and tell them what we're going to do.
Yeah. So next week, we're going to do our production episode, talking about how we actually shot our short film, Fragile Fish. I think it was last week or 2 weeks back, we did the pre-production version, just chatting about how we came up with the story, how we casted the whole thing, how that all worked. Casted, is that a word? I don't know, but I'm going to roll with it.
Cast?
Yeah, we just cast. Yeah, that's it. No ED. Okay, cool. So we talked about that. Now, next week, we're going to talk about production, which is essentially shooting the whole thing, what we did for the 3 days that we did shoot. And then a couple weeks, we'll do like the post-production stuff. But that's coming up next week. Yo. Check us out. We are on Stitcher. We are on the podcasts on iTunes. And then if you want to go directly to the source, we are on SoundCloud. You can find us anywhere at The Gray Area or The Gray Area Podcast.
GREIGH, Gray.
Gray. Yeah, that's like for our last name. You'll just look it up by that. And then you'll find us.
But we're also on Twitter,
give it a listen, give us a follow.
We don't really tweet, but we're on Twitter. What's our Twitter handle?
At The Gray Brothers or at Gray Brothers, I think. because we're kind of a conglomerate of creativity. So we do it kind of under the banner of our last name, the fact that we are related. We create movies. We did some TV stuff back in the Disney, and then we're now doing this motherfucking podcast.
Oh, and music. All right, everybody.
And
until
music.
next week, we will see you. Gray Area
Bye
Podcast.
now. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.